Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be talking about how to get yourself better gigs as an artist, band, singer-songwriter, and just go over a few tips and tricks that I've learned over the years of kind of managing my own bookings, so stay tuned. So you're a solo artist or a band and you've been performing your own music for a while and you want to get yourself some better gigs. But how do you get to play to bigger audiences, get paid and make new fans in the process? I've been kind of managing my own music career for over a decade now, probably more like 15 years. And yeah, so I've learned a fair few things along the way in doing that. One thing you have to consider is live music events have many different things going on, many different moving pieces, and it requires a lot of hard work from the venues, the promoters, the staff working there, plus the sound engineers and all the people like that. There's a lot of people involved in making a live music event happen, so you have to take that same level of professionalism and dedication when approaching these people. And it's always a bonus that when you arrive to a venue on time, well prepared, people will take notice of that. So I've broken this down into a couple of stages, kind of a preparation stage and then a how do you actually go about doing it stage, getting the better gigs. And within there's a few different sort of topics I'll talk about. So the first things first, failure to prepare is preparing to fail, or some other kind of inspirational quote that has the same meaning. But you get what I mean, you need to prepare before kind of approaching these people. So here are my tips on what you need to prepare. So first off, have a competent stage presence and a suitable set list. What I mean by this is that you've practiced your songs, you know how to perform them, you're very unlikely to mess up while playing live, and you've got a set list written down with additional notes such as, you know, this song has a capo here, or oh, make sure we plug our latest release here, and just kind of notes like that just kind of helps you have a more professional look when you're on stage, and it just tightens up your performance and you come across as a more credible act. So point number 2, consistent looking social channels. When you're approaching venues and promoters, the first place they'll most likely look is on your social media profiles. If you've got a consistent look across your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, it just gives off a better kind of vibe that, you know, okay, these guys are serious, you know, they've got a good look about them, and it also implies what type of music you're more likely to be making. So my third piece of prep advice is get high quality promotional shots. This kind of ties into my previous point about having, you know, a consistent look across your socials. Yeah, so having a high quality promotional shot, even if it's done yourself with, you know, a camera on a tripod, but it is a high quality photo that's in focus, looks good. Yeah, again, it just gives people an impression of what you are. We say we don't judge books by their covers, but unfortunately I think we do. It's kind of psychological. You see a picture and you get a vibe of, oh, you know, this is a death metal band, oh, this is a pop act. You know, you can tell from the look and feel of the brand, you know. So it's very important to have high quality kind of images on your social. So fourth tip, have a core set of fans. Now obviously when you're starting out this can be quite difficult, but we all have a network of acquaintances, family and friends who we should be able to call on and say get involved when kind of starting out with this. Whether that's just you know, one of your mum sharing your post on Facebook, or you know, some mates coming down the pub and just hanging out with you and kind of bigging up your music to everyone. You've all got to start somewhere, and until you're selling out arena tours, this core set of fans will be the ambassadors for your music. So my fifth tip is get a live music video. In the same thread as when promoters and venues go to check out your socials, they'll see kind of your image and kind of get a vibe of that. It's even better to have a live music video as they get a first-hand experience of what you'll actually like playing live and will hear your music. If you haven't, say, this doesn't have to be anything fancy, it can be as simple as, like, you know, a mobile phone, as long as you've got a steady shot with clear audio. But yeah, if you're looking to get something more professional, again, you can always find people out there who can help make live music videos. One big tip with this is make sure the audio quality is acceptable and definitely free from distortion, as that will ruin your live video. And again, just a steady shot. If you're interested in having a live music video done, check out the links in the description below, and yeah, you'll be able to find out how we can help you with live music videos. So this is a bonus tip you can get from various companies. I have one here. This is from iZettle. Got it a while ago. So, mobile card reader, bonus tip. These things are brilliant. I mean, this one's probably quite bulky and old now. You can get ones that literally just plug in the top of your smartphone. But yeah, as an optional extra, if you're going to gigs and you've maybe got CDs or merchandise you're trying to sell, a lot of days these people don't have cash on them. You know, everyone's contactless now. And yeah, you can even pay a bit more and get a contactless version of this thing. And so yeah, little bonus tip there. Pro tip, card reader. So you've got all those things, you've got a consistent looking social channels, you've got your core set of fans who are talking about you, and yeah, you've got all the kind of bits you need to get started. So what's next? So my first tip on how to actually book gigs is use your existing network. As I said, we all have that core set of family, friends, acquaintances who may already be part of a music scene. Get in touch with them, find out where they're going to gigs, go to those gigs and actually start talking to the people who are organising it. You'll see the people behind the scenes mingling around the back. And yeah, just start having conversations, build relationships, build friendships with these people, find out who the promoters are and make connections that way. If you're not part of a music scene or you really are just kind of starting out and you have nobody else, Facebook is a brilliant resource. There are groups all over there for local areas, so, trying to connect venues and promoters with artists. Remember, always be polite when contacting venues and promoters and take time to build a relationship. Once you've built that trust, then you can ask, how do I book a gig? What's my fee? Is it tickets? Is it paid? That's what you need to negotiate. So my second tip for finding gigs, there are always Battle of the Band events or open mic nights all across the country in the UK. I'm sure I could pull up even just a quick Google search or even on Facebook. You could pull up tons of these sort of events. You can really hone in your live performance and get out there to new audiences. The downside to a lot of these events is they're free to attend, and usually it's very rare the acts kind of get paid for this. You may get a free drink here and there, but it's unlikely you'll get paid for an open mic night. I would highly recommend being a member of a performing rights society such as the PRS. These companies basically work on your behalf to collect royalties for you for the venues that pay their license fees. So if you've performed live music at any pub or venue that pays a license, then there is money sat on the table waiting for you. There is, I think, a £100 application fee for the PRS, but I actually managed to recoup almost that £100 within my first year of being a member of the PRS just through doing open mics. That was me really not trying hard, just rocking up to a few open mics, playing my original songs, submitting a set list online, and then a few months later the royalty payments were coming through. So I highly recommend being a member of the PRS or another collection society if you're based somewhere else in the world. PRS is UK based where I am. So yeah, highly recommend that. So tip number 3. With the power of the internet now, it's so easy to search for promoters and venues in your local area. This is where I'd recommend searching for these people, making a list of all the venues or promoters, their contact details, and then literally just approaching them with a nice light breezy, "Hi, how are you? This is what I do," links to all the socials that you've branded up and made look good, and just kind of build a relationship and a friendship from there. Don't be too pushy and just trying to book something in immediately. Just start that relationship, get them interested in your music, and then once you've kind of built that friendship and relationship, then go in and sort of negotiate your fee and when you want to play. Little extra tip as well with this, always try and get a personal meeting if you can. This may be difficult. If not, a phone call, it always beats an email. So meeting beats a phone call beats an email is just the default. So tip number 4, list and contact local festivals. Across the UK there's normally a whole heap of festivals you can get into. And the key here is to start with looking for the obscure festivals that are growing. There's all sorts of underground small festivals that are happening, and you want to try and make contact with the artistic director at these events. Once you've got that contact, build the friendship, build the relationship, and it'll be much easier to work your way up to the bigger festivals that way. So my 5th tip for booking gigs is finding support slots. You'll find once you become part of a music scene, and maybe you've been attending a few of these gigs, you'll start to find other acts or bands that sound very similar to you. It's probably a good idea if you like what they're doing to kind of make friends with them, get to know them, build a relationship with these artists, these people who are your peers essentially. And when you start to build that relationship and start to build a friendship with these people, you can always ask, hey, are you playing any gigs, fancy a support slot? Then send them the links to your socials and get them interested in what you're doing. So it's also a nice organic way that you can end up getting maybe a really good gig at one of the big arenas because you're playing for that huge band that you made friends with. And my 6th tip for getting better gigs is set up your own live music event. This one requires a lot more effort and a lot more planning and consideration. Music promoters have existing relationships with the venues they book. However, there's nothing stopping you contacting these venues directly. One important thing to consider is that you may have to front the cost of booking the venue, which is a bit of a risk if you're not sure you're going to be able to sell the volume of tickets. You may be able to negotiate with the venue maybe they take a cut of the ticket fees, or they're even willing to give you the venue for free and they take a cut of the bar sales. Again, this is up to you. You have to build relationships with the venues and start slowly with this. This may take time, and you may have to pitch yourself more as a kind of independent person trying to make a difference in the music scene. You'll also have to consider other things such as booking tickets, booking other bands, managing cash, doing the live sound and lighting. You know, these are all the things that, unless the venue is kind of helping out in some way, you may have to look at yourself. So again, make sure you're meticulous with your planning and you take your time if you're setting up your own event. But again, that's also quite a viable way to get yourself started. And my seventh and final tip for kind of booking more gigs is impressing promoters and talent scouts. Once you've probably done a few gigs and you've got a few under your belt, there may be other promoters who see you at one of their shows and think, oh yeah, I like that band, or I like that guy, I'll book him for another one in the future. And this has happened to me. I've got friendly with a couple of the promoters, and they've heard my band, and yeah, they've wanted me to do more, and they were literally sending me things like, can you do this date, you can do this date, and I had to turn them down because we couldn't do them, which was it's a good position to be in when you're turning down gigs. But yeah, so that's kind of the icing on the cake. Well done, you're doing a good job, you know, things will come your way. Always be wary of deals that sound good, too good to be true. And yeah, always remember to build relationships with these people that have shown interest in your music. So thanks for watching this far, if you've gotten this far in the video. I hope you've managed to find some value, and you can apply some of the tips that I've kind of given you. There were 3 final considerations I'd like to kind of put forward to you for when trying to get these better gigs. The first one, supply is greater than demand, so always try and find ways to stand out against the noise that exists. There's so many bands and musicians out there now, and there's only so many venues that can actually book you, so yeah, try and stand out. Point number 1. Second point to consider, always build your credibility over a sustained period of time. This isn't going to happen overnight. As I say, I've been doing this 15 years now as a musician, and I've been making contacts, and it's only within the last kind of 5 to 6 years that I've really been doing this professionally and kind of built these relationships further with these promoters and venues. And number 3 is start small. Unless you've got some sort of clout within your genre and people already know you and you've maybe got a bit of weight and you can book the kind of venues, it doesn't matter if you start at a small little coffee shop somewhere and work your way up. It's all about kind of consistently building that kind of relationship with these people. So, do you take your music career seriously? At dAudio Music Group, we help dedicated musicians with a range of services, including booking management and music career coaching. If you're interested in talking more about this with me, get in touch for a free consultation where we can talk about your music and find out how I can help you. Thanks for watching the video. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to give it a like and leave a comment below if you've got any questions, and also subscribe if you're not subscribed. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.